This is All India Radio. In Spotlight, now we bring you a special program on preparations for the third phase of upcoming assembly elections.
With just a day left for campaigning, all the political parties in Tamil Nadu are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah held a roadshow in Chennai along with BJP and alliance candidates. In one of the campaigns, JP Nadda said that Tamil Nadu had a cultural heritage which was recognized all over the world. In a public meeting held at Tirunelveli, Home Minister Amit Shah accused Congress and DMK of being selfish and corrupt. DMK leader M.K. Stalin, who is also campaigning in various parts of the state, accused the AIADMK for compromising the interests of the people of Tamil Nadu by totally surrendering to the centre. As electioneering ends tomorrow evening by 7 p.m. in all the 234 constituencies, the Chief Electoral Officer has issued several guidelines to be followed and warned anyone who violates Model Code of Conduct will be punished under the Representation of Peoples Act. Tamil Nadu votes on the 6th of this month.
In a public meeting held at Tirunelveli, Home Minister Amit Shah accused Congress and DMK of being selfish and corrupt. DMK leader Stalin, who is also campaigning in various parts of the state, accused the AIADMK for not protecting the people of the state by taking sides with the centre. The Joint Secretary of the Advocate Wing of AIADMK, an alliance partner of the NDA, sought the intervention of the Election Commission in the IT raids conducted yesterday. In a representation to the Chief Election Commissioner, Advocate Babu Murugavel said that the income tax raids conducted at the houses and establishments of ADMK ministers and party workers were politically motivated. He asked the Election Commission to direct the IT department not to act as per the bureaucrats who are close to DMK and Congress. He said it was an attempt by officials who were favouring DMK and Congress to malign the ADMK as nothing incriminating was found till now. He asked the Election Commission to take action against all officials who misused their official powers and violated poll laws, making a mockery of the election process. Earlier today, the flying squad deployed in Omalur Assembly constituency seized a vehicle carrying 300 model electronic voting machines in which the symbol of the AMMK party and the name of the candidate was installed. The machines were meant for creating awareness, but there was no document supporting the claim. The machines have been submitted to the returning officer Geeta Priya. Dhotis worth 8,000 rupees, watches worth 1,74,000 rupees and silk saris worth 3,69,000 rupees have also been seized from the accompanying vehicles in the convoy. COVID-19 is also making its presence feel in the elections. The Chief Secretary of Tamil Nadu, Rajiv Ranjan, has said that more than 31,75,000 people were vaccinated against COVID till date. In a statement released in Chennai today, he said the government was taking all possible steps to reduce the impact of the pandemic in the state. He said that the government has received 54,78,700 doses from the centre. The Chief Secretary pointed out that 50,000 to 85,000 RT-PCR tests are being done every day and results were declared within 24 hours. Steps have been taken to identify and test 25 to 30 persons who were in contact with COVID-positive persons. Informing about the preventive measures, he said any street or apartment which has more than 3 COVID-positive people was considered as a micro-containment area. With Diksha, Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
In Kerala, with only hours left for the public campaign to conclude, national-level leaders of all the major political fronts are holding various meetings across the state. More from our Kerala correspondent, Mayusha.
Kerala is all set to go to polls on April 6th in a single phase. The 15th Legislative Assembly election will be held on a single phase in 140 constituencies. Around 957 candidates are contesting in the election. The major battle is between three major fronts: the CPM, Communist Party of India led LDF, Congress led UDF and BJP led NDA. In the last election, 2015, the ruling presently LDF government have won with a 2/3 majority, about 91 seats, and UDF had actually won only 47 seats. But BJP created history in 2016 by winning one seat, which is the first ever seat of BJP in the history of Kerala, in Nemam, represented by O. Rajagopal. But in 2016 itself, it was quite evident that BJP was able to make inroads into the state's political landscape. They won around 14.96% vote share last time. So this brings up an idea of 2021 assembly polls in which all the three fronts are equally contesting in around almost all 140 constituencies, and a majority of the constituencies are facing a triangular contest. Many issues have been brought out in this political discourses during this time. When LDF is focusing on the development which they were able to bring in the last 5 years and the way that they have tackled many obstacles like the COVID, Nipah and the two worst ever flood in the history of Kerala. But at the same time, opposition is accusing the government, that is the UDF. They are bringing out the issues of gold scam, Sabrimala, unemployment issues, and lately they have also brought the multiple entries in the voters list, questioning and creating a confusion of whether a double voting or a bogus voting can happen. This had created a major political discourse during the last few days, in which finally the Kerala High Court had ordered and accepted the guidelines of Election Commission to ensure that there will not be any double voting in assembly elections. At the same time, BJP is also bringing up many issues like the corruptions of the present government, the unemployment rate in the state, the gold scam, and they are also raising Sabrimala as a very important emotional and cultural issue which will decide the fate of assembly polls. Meanwhile, the Election Commission is also heating up all kind of arrangements to ensure maximum polling percentage, because last assembly election the state has recorded about 77.53% polling, and they're trying to bring out and increase the polling percentage as maximum as possible through various sweep programs, by innovative methods of like flash mobs, by using of robots, kite flying, football tournaments, signatures of walls, etc., and reaching the tribal colonies of the state and ensuring that each and every vote counts in this democracy's largest festival. At the same time, the arrangements are also on war footing in the state. On account of the COVID pandemic, the number of polling booths have been raised to 40,771, which is double polling booths that existed earlier, that was nearly 21,000 only. The polling will happen on the day of April 6 from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The last hours reserved for the COVID-infected patients. Among the polling booths, 580 are critical booths and 213 are left-wing extremist-affected booths. Over 50,000 police officials have been deployed in the various polling booths across the state, which includes over 10,000 central and other state police forces. Webcasting and CCTV facility will be provided in all the polling booths. The places where the webcasting will not be there, the CCTV facility will be there to avoid any kind of fraudulent activities. The authorities are also ensuring that the green protocol is very much met during the polling booths, and very minimum usage of the polling plastic materials are being used during the election process, etc., and a complete green protocol is used.
In Puducherry, in view of the general elections, the Election Commission has issued various standard operating procedures for the last 48 hours. Our Puducherry correspondent reports.
While the campaigning comes to an end in Puducherry tomorrow evening, it is still unclear as to who will come to power in the small union territory of Puducherry. While the senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah's roadshow in Puducherry was dubbed to be a game changer in Puducherry politics, DMK leader M.K. Stalin's campaign in Puducherry today also has changed the political scenario here. BJP-led National Democratic Alliance as stalwarts of Puducherry politics, who have recently defected from Congress to either BJP or the NR Congress, who is one among the allies of the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance. But all is not well in BJP-led alliance, as the major partner NR Congress leader N. Rangasamy demands that he would be the chief minister if they win the election. BJP is non-committal in this issue. Rangasamy was conspicuously absent in the Prime Minister Modi's first visit to Puducherry and during the Amit Shah's roadshow. A stalwart in Congress who recently defected to BJP, Mr. Namachivayam was the chief ministerial candidate of Congress party during the last 2016 assembly election. However, when the Congress won the election, the chief ministership was wrenched by Mr. V. Narayanasamy, who had his clout with the party high command at the centre. Namachivayam defected to BJP with his followers. Political observers feel that he was tipped to be the next chief ministerial candidate of BJP. NR Congress went into hibernation after it lost the election in 2016. It did not participate in any agitation or even in any discussion in the assembly. However, when the political situation changed in Puducherry, Mr. Rangasamy sprung into action and gained control and got 16 out of 30 seats. Another alliance partner, ADMK, settled with 5 seats. BJP is contesting in 9 seats this time. It may be recalled that during the 2016 election, BJP contested in all 30 seats and was able to obtain only 2.4% of votes. Even though they could not win any seat, they lost deposit amount in 29 seats. However, the then Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi appointed 3 BJP leaders as nominated MLAs. This led to a big litigation between the Chief Minister Narayanaswamy and Governor. The matter is still in court. The court's direction that the nominated MLAs have voting powers led to the fall of the Congress government towards the fag end of its tenure. The DMK-led Progressive Front in Puducherry harps on DMK's popularity in Tamil Nadu politics. BJP wants to win this election this time as it believes that it will be the first step in placing their foot in the southern part of the country. Hence, all major leaders have visited the Union Territory. However, adamant NR Congress may play a spoilsport in Puducherry election. Campaign in Puducherry this time was basically on local issues with BJP promises best Puducherry. DMK-led alliance stresses on statehood to the Union Territory. Other parties that are contesting hardly will make any impact in the election. With hardly few hours left for the campaign to come to an end, voters may get few days to decide upon to whom to vote. Who will win this election will be known only on May 2nd when the votes are counted. Chidambaranathan, AR News.
In West Bengal, campaigning for the third phase of assembly elections reached its feverish peak. The canvassing will come to an end tomorrow evening. Polling will be held in 31 assembly segments of Hooghly, Howrah and South 24 Pargana districts. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Trinamool Congress leader and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, and star campaigners of CPM and Congress-led Sanyukta Morcha alliance addressed election rallies and held roadshows today in poll-bound areas. More from our correspondent.
BJP leaders are targeting TMC government in their poll meetings over the issue of corruption and appeasement of a particular religion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed rallies in Tarkeshwar and Sonarpur. He alleged that TMC government blocked the implementation of several center-sponsored schemes depriving of people of Bengal from several benefits. Mr. Modi said only BJP has clear vision of development of Bengal, so it has called for Sonar Bangla. On the other hand, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee alleged that BJP is trying to disturb communal harmony of the state. Trinamool chief said the BJP wants to usurp power by hook and crook. Another senior leader of TMC, Yashwant Sinha, said in Kolkata that BJP is showing its desperation after completion of 2 phases of polling. Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said people of Bengal want alternative of BJP and TMC, so this time their choice is Sanyukta Morcha. With Dharmendra Kumar Rai, this is Manisha Khanna, AIR News, Kolkata.
In Assam, campaigning for the third phase of assembly elections is in full swing. Polling will be held on the 6th of April. More from our correspondent.
The district administrations are taking all steps to ensure free, fair and safe pollings in the third and final phase in Assam. Election will be held in 16 election districts covering 40 seats. A total of 337 candidates, including 25 women, are in the fray in this phase. All the COVID protocols, including wearing of face masks, using hand sanitizer, social distancing, hand gloves during the voting will be followed as directed by Election Commission. Special arrangement for the security in terms of BTR region has also been made because the BTR region shares border with Bhutan. So steps have been taken to ensure that there are no untoward incident to be reported on that day. So additional security forces to be deployed in the international border. A total of 310 companies of security forces will be deployed in this phase. Apart from that, webcasting will be done in 50% of the polling booth. There are a total of 11,400 polling booths in this phase. So around 7,200 polling booths will be covered under webcasting. Apart from that, micro observers and zonal and sector observers will be deployed in this phase. Regarding the campaigning, we have seen the participation of high-profile leaders in this phase, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, and other senior leaders of Congress that include State President Ripun Bora, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, and leaders from the other regional parties. In this phase, political fate of several high-profile candidates will be decided. To name some of them are the State BJP President Ranjit Kumar Das, Senior BJP leader and convener of the NEDA Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, Senior Minister Chandra Mohan Patwari for the BJP. There are 2 other ministers from BPF in this fray. One is Kokrajhar seat Pramila Brahma and in Shillong district Chandan Brahma. This is Manaspatim Sharma.
You are listening to a special program on preparations for the third phase of upcoming assembly elections. This program was produced and presented by the News Service Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsttalks@gmail.com.